Hello and welcome. Today's date comes in that of Thursday, 18th day of June 2020. My name is Derek. This is the Money Charts channel. And all bets trade, like always, are within each's own risk and their own reward. This will be just that about Hedera Hashgraph crossed against Bitcoin. And a little bit of fantasy, daily fantasy talk, particularly with DraftKings fantasy as well within it. They kind of do tie literally together. We'll see later on. Anyway, with that being said, we can see this on the daily chart, and this thing opened on Binance just before October of, just pretty much at October of 2019 or last year. And it started off making a pattern of lower highs and lower lows, and the last leg lower was pretty deep, severe one, really. When it got it back, and then some more, of course, but falling from 304 precipitously down to about barely over 100. And now has since first managed to make a move up to about 800, falling back down to what has been that of a 38.2% Fibonacci retracement level. And then from that point, it rallied to pretty much retest previous high on two different occasions, one majorly piercing below and one piercing above, this one majorly below. Got back down, of course, to the, would be the, I'm sure this is the, back down to this Fibonacci line in here. So it made a higher low to this one. That's the key important one as well. But these lines have been working out phenomenally well. And from this rally higher, it comes up to this level 830, does not support 508, rather it resists it, resisting it for several days in a row. And then again, after it broke down below the short-term level of support down to 456 at the time, it rallied up to key fib and then decent lows just down to this line again, resisting the line, supporting the line, and then pierce above it. And what I like about this last move that occurred on the May one is how it's a successful correctionary move. And that was because it spent a decent amount of time within the 18 average in here after this high. And today's session had an interesting announcement, I guess you could say, at least via the charts announcement, I should say, a statement I like to use in these videos or for vocabulary. And amongst such, it, after several days in here, broke out and again gets to this key resistance level at 508, but it has pulled back. But what's important to note is that as long as it can hold where it comes from, and that's going to be the key around 457, 450 area, and really the 18 average of lows, even piercing below 440, 430, but higher lowing this level is huge. And that's why I like to see even hold around 450 up to 460 area if it's going to go down any further. But if an attempt of screaming out, yeah, I'm going to do this, and this is how breaking past this resistance, and then really testing the areas of like 600 up to 800 again. And then if it fails that, then the next level test would be a retest again of 384. And if it did all it has done, which is this move here and this one again today, and then this is a failure, we retest 382, or we're probably testing 241. And then usually, of course, pierce extra. Let's take a look at this on the shorter term time frame because it says a lot in today's session. A lot to go over. As intraday today, we can see this is I really want to go over this because a few interesting things that occurred on this big sell-off. But the price action from the last time it was going the lower lows and lower highs, or the morning of 3 days ago, it had a statement in here back when it broke out above the 18. So now holding this level and then dealing with these previous resistance marks and then, of course, getting above it to the key points. And as you can see, correctionary move holding well within the 18, supporting where we came from. And there we see it breaking out from this point in here. This gives you the indication the correctionary move is over. And not only are we looking to retest this, but probably break it. And we can see within another correctionary move, it then retest it again. And there just got an amazing big move. And it usually is decisive and fast. In this case, no exception, with a lot of even shorter term volatility, as we can see amongst the sessions on the 2 o'clock hour, 3, 4, 5, all of these periods, with these lines coming back. So a lot of short term volatility. Price action at 6 o'clock coming up, and unfortunately barely going below where I really wanted to sell, sell, which was breaking past 560. Never did do that. So I never got alerted on any of these situations. At this point, I was up when this was going on. I was just busy doing other things. Would I have sold here? There's probably something I probably should have. I sell HBR against like 3 different things. And this one here, I totally missed again. I was at the time I got back. I left the house for a bit and come back right as this was going to the high. Didn't check the markets until the move that occurred already happened, and it's this move in here. And this happened at 4 o'clock p.m. Eastern Time as the price action managed to get above here at 2:12 p.m. Eastern Time, breaking out to 5:30, supporting this key area. And here we can see, this is a 4-minute chart, each candle representing 4 minutes worth of data, that as it's playing in here, the breakout attempt happened in here, and then kerplunk, a large sell move. On the 1-minute term time frame, if we take a look at it from this point in here, this pretty much all happened one shot at exactly 4 p.m. Eastern Time. So that's an interesting aspect that it happened at that key number, not just some random time like 15:33ish or whatever kind of deal like that. And how did it react to this 2-minute venture in selling? Well, the market short term established this level of support at 473 Satoshi. And then when it went to correctionary phase, it resisted the lows, but it wasn't able to really break down. Then we have a move and just establishing what has been a short-term level of support through sense, of course, the move has happened. But now, of course, over the last several minutes, showing a lot of signs that it's looking to break down and then retest these lows that it had at 466. And that's what you'd be looking at with the short term on the 15-minute chart, a little bit of consolidation in here. Overall, if it comes back down to areas where it came from, I can just see by looking at the 15 that I can see that the upper end of this range, most recent one is 465 down to about 450. And then if I look at this on this, pretty much the same level. So what are some of the things that can cause it? This could be just someone just trying to take a whole bunch of profits in here and then just having their thing, just one of the many people that own a lot, and times will go by, and if this is bullish news, then this should go up later after the fact. And interesting, because as I was going on, this is when I'm going to transition now into fantasy sports and how it all ties in together, because not only did I not sell up here because I was doing fantasy work, but as far as an announcement is concerned, this is my fantasy line. This is where I play on DraftKings, and just a couple cheap games in soccer as I was playing, looking at in 142nd place and 1,066 with my 2 lineups with 1,426. I'm very good at finishing either near the top or the bottom. And yeah, so anyway, why did that screen do that? I need to scroll to the right-hand side because I got a message on at this time that just popped up. Binance and enables isolated margin trading for HBR. Interesting. As well as ENG, Nano, and that was at 18:03 Eastern Time. Okay. I'm seeing the time now for the first time, so I'm thinking that this might have something to do with it. And as I'm writing this now, or seeing this now, the time is 17:38 Eastern Time, or 6 p.m. is when that is going to happen. So it'll be interesting to see how this plays out. This video, if you're watching it when it's first uploaded, it should be about 6 p.m., if not a bit before, because I'm ending this video pretty much now. But for what it's worth, most of the stuff that I do, I'm trying to win every fantasy game that there is, even the video games, as this is some of the stuff that I got for like 2 different games. This is like a sport called League of Legends. This is just what, Vegas odds and just some notes for myself. And there's a game in like called Counter-Strike Go. And in that game, that is where you have 5 players per team. And in Showdowns, which is my favorite style of game, that's where you have only 5 team players per team. And in such, you pick 2 guys as what they call captain. You pay per price. Everyone's got a price tag you have to buy. Captains, you pay 50% more, and you get 50% more points. So you pick 2 captains. You have to pick at least 1 on each team. So I have to pick 3 on 1 team, basically. So what I did is, I'll just do it. Well, last game was perfect, because these guys played each other in 05-09. So let's make this guy a captain. Let's make this guy a captain. How about we'll put you in flex and we'll put twist. How about your flex? There's my line. So that's what I did. We'll see how it does. I did the same thing yesterday. I put 2 previous perfect lineups in and neither one of them cashed. Hopefully this one does. But you know what? It's a game. And it's a game you try to win. And you can win, you can lose. And that's basically it with the trading. It's a winning game or it's a losing game. And how your portfolio is set up as far as in the real world, well, it's either going to be a winning or a losing or tying, whatever situation. I mean, it can be really good or really bad or something we're in between. And as we move on to within these interesting times, and I like the word definition of interesting, of interest. That means you care about it. But some people are going to do really well and really poor moving forward. Pretty easy. Suffice prediction, I think. Moving on. Bye-bye.